just as long as I get there safe, like I really don't care. Like,
well, that's what submission is. That's what submission is that you.
Down that I think everybody is at some point deserving to receive love and to be even into marriage if they do aspire for marriage.
I believe that society shapes how we view things and how we look at things in our life.
Make your own bed. That's basically what Kevin Samuels is saying. His delivery is what people kind of throws people off. But basically,
aggressive or like violent, like where I think toxic masculinity is
no offense to men, that they also get this idea that, you know, women are just going to take care of them and everything is going to be like easy.
A domestic violence shelter, and he brought her up to be, you know, a $25,000.
Hell yeah, you need to judge in dating. It is what it is. You know, you can't not judge people just because you feel bad about it. Like, you need to know.
As much as I love my daughter, there are some harsh realities and some things that her mother and I teach her in order to help her to understand.
Like, I'm sure everyone knows a woman that, you know, had to all the
What is going on? Welcome back to CKQ Podcast. The host has a broken camera today, so, you know, kind of slacking today, But you know what? It's all right, because we're talking about marriage, all right? We got a great panel. We got our panel back together. You know, shout out to that. But we're going to go through our usual introductions. We got Chris.
hi everyone. I hope you had a good weekend. My name is Chris. I have a channel called The Blooming Ebony, and also you can find me on Instagram at The Blooming Ebony. And don't forget to like and subscribe to CKQ Podcast. I hope you enjoy the show.
We got Unique.
Unique is the night from Three Married Ladies Opinions. Check us out on YouTube, Instagram. Make sure you subscribe to CKQ. Thanks.
And we got the returning guest.
Oh, really? All right.
Exactly.
So I'm sorry about my absence, but I had some issues I had to deal with. But I'll be back on a regular basis. You can find me at behavioral_consultant on Instagram or Black Wall Street Trading LLC on YouTube. But mainly you can find me here now. So just hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you when we get into the discussion.
Awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, before we get into a couple of videos, I wanted to ask, what were your viewpoints on marriage? What are or were your viewpoints on marriage prior to either getting married, getting engaged, moving forward? We'll start with the married lady. One of the married ladies. Come on, you didn't see that coming? You really didn't see that coming?
I thought you were kind of me last since I was the married one.
Nah, start with the best, all right?
Okay. Before I got married, what was my marriage?
Yeah. Did you even ever see it as a thing?
Huh?
Did you even ever see marriage as a thing before you got married?
Oh,
Did you
yeah.
see the importance of it? Care for it?
Yes, I grew up in the Disney era. I'm supposed to grow up and, meet my Prince Charming and get married. That's the era I grew up in. So, yes, I've been playing, getting married, pretending to get married since I was little. So, it was always a thing. So, I knew that I wanted to, right? But my ideas about it was Disney before I got married.
It was Disney?
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean by that?
Ideas about it was Disney. Like I thought, the person that you decided to marry was supposed to be able to, have a happy ending and have a happily ever after type shit. They're supposed to know you forever, and it's supposed to be good forever. So that do us part. That was my
But
shit.
that's what marriage is, though.
That's what it's supposed to be.
Yeah,
that's just what you wanted to know my ideas before. Okay. That was it.
I mean, I agree with you. That is what marriage is. And if it's not that, then it's a divorce. That's what it is. Okay.
You think Disney is marriage? Yeah, I got a rude awakening. Okay.
A rude awakening? No, please don't shout him. Please.
Yeah, rude awakening. Disney.
Too young to know. Misengaged.
Hi. What was the question? It was, did I consider marriage before? Did I always want to be married?
Yeah, before getting to your point now, did you ever consider marriage an option, a viable option that you actually wanted, that you cared for, anything like that?
Yes. So I think what changed me, I think I was around like 18 or 19. I think I was 18 when I realized I didn't want to be married and have a family. But most of my life, I could only picture myself like the normal one, like the modern woman. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna be a doctor. I'm gonna have my dream studio. I'm gonna have a dog. And I'm gonna travel the world. I was like 12, thinking that I was gonna have that life. And then when I was in college, I was like, I want to have kids and I want a husband and I want a family. So I dropped the doctor thing.
I'm curious, like what is the allure that so many women get caught? Like, why do so many women get caught in that?
Being like alone, not wanting to get married.
Like, yeah, like the modern woman trap. Get your dog, travel the world, see all these great, wonderful things. Like, why is it that a lot of women get caught in that, in your opinion?
Being married isn't an option. Like when you're growing up, like for me, no one was telling me that getting married was an option. And no one talked about it like it was a good thing. Like my parents were married. But when I was growing up, no one ever said like, oh, Chris, you can grow up, you can have a husband, and you can also be a doctor, and you can also have kids. Like no one was saying that. It was all like, you have to get this done. You're gonna be the first doctor in the family. Like you can do it. You got this. But no one ever talked to me about like having a family. So it just didn't seem like an option. Because I never said like I didn't want to be married, but I just didn't picture myself married at 12. And then the examples I had of relationships, like my parents were okay, but my oldest brother and his now wife, they were kind of too much to handle when I was growing up. They would argue a lot, and I was like, I don't think I can handle being with someone else if it's gonna be like that. So I just never thought about it. I could never picture myself with that type of life until I was older, and I was thinking like, marriage is nice. There's nothing. It's what you make it. It's not what you see around you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that. Doctor,
what's happening?
Give me the news.
All right, so are we answering that question? What is marriage, or we just kind of?
Yeah. I just kind of want to hear what everyone actually thought about marriage prior to getting married. Whether you actually thought it was something you even wanted, whether you even thought about it at all, or or how do you feel?
I mean, I think about it all the time, and the biggest thing is this. So like when you get married, right? When you get married, the main thing is who you choosing. Like you got to make sure you dating properly. That's the way, because it's something that like once I do it, it's forever. And since I waited so late in life, I don't know how long that forever is, but it's for that long. Dating properly, make sure you guys are more compatible, or you complement each other, not so much as y'all like the same stuff.
Yeah.
Like you fit, you're strong where she's weak, she's strong where you're weak. Y'all work well. because she's learning from you, you're learning from her, and y'all are growing. You're expanding, and y'all work well together. That's because at the end of the day, it's a relationship, and it's less about the aesthetics, and it's more about how that compliment for me.
Okay.
Yeah, he wasn't expecting that, were you? Got him.
Come on, man. I expect a decent amount of things from you, but no, I was not expecting that. All right, so we're gonna start off with this tour's gonna get really hard.
This is really good.
What's that?
I got some in my purple cup, y'all. And it ain't Kool-Aid.
It's gonna get really hard. A couple.
Okay.
It's a frozen margarita. Call it Houdini. Because it might make me disappear. Y'all see me nodding over here, and ain't no diabetes and then them drunk.
Lucky you.
Hey, Clement, what Clement say? Y'all heard what he said? I don't know what he said. Clement, what you say?
I'm on a detox. I'm on a detox right now.
On a detox. Yeah.
I am. I'm drinking this black stuff.
Oh, Jesus, what is that?
Detox stuff.
It looks like some black tar off the street. What is that?
Some black herbs.
It looked like it'll get something out of you.
Yeah.
And I do mean everything.
It's called Bowel Pocket.
It looked like bowel.
It looked like it.
Just like
exactly.
Like somebody shit right in that cup. That's what it looked like. I bet it tastes like it too, don't it? You ain't gotta lie. I seen your mouth scrunch up every time you sip it. You like, God damn, I can't believe I'm doing this.
Looking like you just took a shot.
You want some of this? I can mail it to you.
Yeah.
It'll be melted by the time you get there.
Send a carrier pigeon a little faster. All right, let's watch this real good.
All right.
I can't hear it. Still no volume.
I'm not winning today, huh?
No.
Jeez, what is going on? My goodness.
Clement, you having a time today, boy.
Like I did when
It's working now.
Couple of them, it's gonna get really hard.
It's not an echo, right?
If you're unmuted, it's gonna echo.
I mean, well, let's see, because I just unmuted myself and you guys now hear it. So let's see.
A couple of them you're going to be embarrassed about. You're going to feel ashamed of. Like I did when I asked my wife, hey, occasionally, can you just tell me that you're proud of me? Because I'm doing all this for you. And that was embarrassing for me to say out loud. Some men desperately need sex, but some men desperately need their wife, the person who loves them, is to hold their hand, sit by them, not ask for anything, just be with. And that sounds very unmasculine. It sounds very like, oh my gosh, are you serious? Yes, I'm serious. So whatever your needs happen to be, that's what they happen to be. Like, can we just watch a show together? Can we go for a walk together? Right? And the more you listen to your body, send you signals through these emotions, these feelings, whatever, the closer you're going to get to it. How does that sound?
That sounds good.
Thoughts on that?
Yeah, I got thoughts on it.
Talk to me.
I need all that. I need all of it. I need sex. I need affirmation. I need affection. And I know that. Like, I know I need that. I know for a fact I need that. Because like I'm the type, I will go all in. Like my woman is a motivator. Like she would be like, I would be motivated to move mountains for her. You feel me? If I know she respects me and I know it's gonna make her proud. That's a big deal for me. I'm kinesthetic. I'm very touchy-feely. So like I can't be paired with someone who doesn't like touch. Like we won't work. Like it just will not work because she'll be compromising too much. And I don't, I'm not really, if you don't have to compromise, it's just better to date someone who just doesn't mind it. I don't think there's a lot of women out there that mind being touched, but there are some who just don't like someone who's touchy. Some women, they don't want you to hold their hands in public. Some women, they rather y'all just walk like y'all not even together. I can't be with that woman. Like I can't. I don't like it. Like, why are we here together?
It's kind of odd, but
like leave my ass at the house. You don't walk way up there. Let me stay back here at the house, like way back here, like not even with you. Let's do it like that. But yeah, I need all three of those: sex, affirmation, and affection.
So let me ask you, when does it become now you're looking for that person to validate everything you do? When does it become now you become so needing of their I guess their attaboy?
Well, it's not everything though. See, in my mind, I'm thinking every now and then. You know what I'm saying? I don't need this like every day when she wake up. I just want to say, baby, you are great. You are wonderful. And you are mine. I mean, I wouldn't mind it.
I mean, that's a great day. That's a great day. What you mean? It's a great day to wake up every day.
Well, yeah, I mean, I like a person who's really, really positive. But, I'm just saying, like, if you see me going fucking in the paint, I'm just getting it. Come up and tap me and say, hey, big fella, down here. What? You doing a good fucking job. Mama gonna take care of you tonight. Hot damn, I'll go 10 more hours.
So you are a type of person that need external stimulation.
I need stimulation.
Yeah, well.
I don't give a damn about.
I heard this analogy of what you're talking about. I wanted to mention. Kobe was the greatest, but he had internal motivation. He didn't need a pat on the back. Yeah. He didn't need somebody to say, "Data boy." He didn't need that shit. He had internal motivation.
Yeah.
But somebody like Lamar Odom, who could have been great, but he got caught by the Kardashian family.
R.I.P.
Needed that extra motivation. He needed somebody to tell him he was good. He needed the fans to like him. He needed that extra motivation to do good. And some people do need that. There's nothing wrong with that.
You think there's a lot of people?
Huh?
I think it's a lot of men. I think there's a lot of men like that.
Some men don't. Some men have that internal drive.
I think there's a much smaller percentage of men that don't. I think a larger percentage of men actually need that validation. Need that. As a guy, you're always going on. You just go, and because you're supposed to.
It depends on what it is. It depends on what it is, man. It depends on what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like for me, if I'm more family oriented, right? So she's not going to have to motivate me to do what I want, like what I need to do for my family. All I'm saying is she's speaking my love language. If you see me going hard, like I'm going extra and above, because I would do shit like that for my family, you feel me? Right? Which that comes from internal motivation and just me being a man, knowing what my role is and what she expects, what my family needs, and what I expected of myself, and the example I'm trying to set for my boys, right? But I would like it every now and then. She come, like I said, tap me. Hey, big fella, come down here. I see you. I see you. Mama got something special for you tonight. I was like, hey, let's go. That's all I'm saying. Every now and then, it ain't got to be every time. It's just let me know, because a lot of women don't tell their husband shit. A lot of women don't say one fucking word to their husband. You work too damn much. When you gonna stay at home? Oh, you like that Benz you driving? So you like this damn 6,000 square foot home you living in? So what? You like these damn babies I gave you? Yeah, I mean, we gotta pay for them now, but what you want me to do? I can't be in two places.
That's toxic relationships. That's toxic relationships. So here's, I want to ask the ladies, when do you think you'll ever find a time where you won't be saying these things to your husband?
I'm sorry, did y'all talk to me? Because I just stepped away.
Yeah, that was to you and Chris. When do you think you'll ever find a time where you won't be, I guess, giving your husband positive affirmations? What scenario would have to happen, or what might need to be going on where you will now not be giving any kind of positive affirmations to your husband?
When I guess I don't think I would. I don't try to unmotivate somebody, but sometimes my nagging would. My nagging unmotivates him, like, because I guess you don't say anything positive, and every time you walk in the house, it's like it's something wrong. But it do be something wrong. So, but I'm just saying, like, that might be an example of when you're not doing positive affirmations, because it's like this constant of what's wrong instead of ever saying what was right. So that's an example.
That's pretty good. Yeah. I think the nagging, and I think sometimes even like the wanting to test, that can eventually just become too much.
What you mean wanting to test?
Like wanting to just, for myself, I'm just someone that just like, I like things straightforward. I don't want to have to, oh, she's doing this because she wants me to do X, Y, Z. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to have to, I don't like having to try to read in between the lines to try to, you know, figure out the clues and as to why you're feeling some type of way. Or even if you're just kind of like mean, but in a joking, fun way, that eventually gets me like, all right, that's not cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm too vanilla.
I mean, some people just like straightforward, and they don't like the chase. They don't like the figuring out. They don't like the clues. They don't like, you know, some people are like that, and that's fine. Now, I do like people being honest with me, but I also like conflict. I do like growth and change. I feel like in conflict, or sometimes you will get growth and change. It doesn't necessarily have to be bad conflict. I mean, it can be something that we actually realize at the end of us talking about it and working it through or whatever, that it was a positive thing that we talked about it in the end. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
It doesn't always have to be something negative. I don't like when it comes to that romantic part. I guess I'm a romantic person because I'm, you know, Disney motherfucker. So I like that part. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not gonna tell you how I feel straight up. You're gonna have to figure that shit out. I like the part of somebody chasing. So you're not gonna know none of that shit. It's not gonna just come freely. If it does, I really feel it at that moment. But a lot of times it's not gonna come freely. It's gonna be something you're gonna have to pursue.
He's just gonna have to figure it out.
Yeah.
That's just too much. Too much.
I don't know. It's just me. Sorry.
That's fair. That's fair. Let me. StreamYard is messing with your.
Yeah, my camera keeps disconnecting.
Yeah, StreamYard's being crazy. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. I don't know what's going on.
All right. Well, let me pull up this.
So,
whoops. I'm sorry, guys. Give me a second. We're gonna do a quick reaction to this second video that I want you guys to watch. I like this one a lot because it's a different take from that other video that we were just watching. Where the other video was talking a little bit more about what the woman needs to be doing for the man. This takes a different spin. So, fair use.
So, I want to jump to something you said earlier. Someone you talk about a lot, obviously, is Lauren.
Yeah.
And you've said publicly, on numerous occasions.
Sure.
First 7 years of your marriage were
terrible.
Terrible. And
if she was here, she would amen that. It wasn't terrible. Don't hear. It was terrible for me. She was lucky. She had no. It was terrible for all of us, all involved.
Why? What was going on?
Yeah, you know what? And this might sound maybe even trivial or trite to whoever is listening or watching this, but so my background as a guy growing up in a home where I can't earn the approval of my father, regardless of what kind of athlete I am, regardless of what kind of student I am. He just didn't know how to relate to me, not because of me, honestly, but because of his own issues. So I had like these deeply embedded insecurities. And so I was almost looking for her to reject me. And then she's coming from this background where it's church every weekend. You look pretty even if you're not pretty. And I honestly didn't quite know how to do that. And so she was, if she was here, this is what she would say. She had a tendency to be careless and to be self-absorbed. And so if you put my sweet bride who is self-absorbed into a house with me who's insecure, that self-absorption and insecurity put in a house together is toxic. And that's what it was. It was this kind of, it seemed like this cycle that just wouldn't stop, where we do well for a couple of weeks and we get right back into the same old argument. And so that was the first 7 years. And there were literally nights where I laid in bed and I thought, surely this isn't the rest of my life. Because divorce was never it was just never going to happen. And so I mean, I would think, and I would literally pray, okay, Lord, is this how you're going to say, is this how you're going to knit me to yourself? Because everything else was going gangbusters. I mean, if I let it blew up. And so kind of that thing that kind of hooked into me and pulled me into the Lord was two things. One, it was my marriage. It was difficult. And two, it was the fact that everything else was going so well, and that made me nervous.
What was the turning point?
Well, I think there were two things. The first thing was I wanted to not try to be the Holy Spirit for Lauren, and I just wanted to work on my own heart. So like the lie I believed that made, what probably could have been 2 years turn into 7 years was, instead of going, I need to help Lauren understand what she's doing wrong that makes me feel the way I feel. It was literally, that's what I was trying to do. Let me help her understand how when she does this, it makes me feel like this. And when
We're going to finish off the rest of that, but I always find that part interesting where he says that. I thought that letting someone know what exactly it is that's bothering you is a good thing, right? But now he's saying that was something. Well, he's alluding to that is something that was actually an issue. The fact that he was so fixated on like, I'm just letting you know that this is how I want to be loved. What do you guys think of that? Okay, I'll start with Chris.
So you're asking if,
or what do you think of the video in general so far?
Okay. What stuck out to me was the fact that he said like divorce wasn't an option, and like he asked her like, will this literally be the rest of my life? I thought that was admirable. I don't think many people would think that way at year 7. I guess when most divorces happen is year 7. Because people don't have that mentality. When it comes to I'm trying to think what else he said. There's a lot that he said, and I got a little distracted because my camera keeps messing up.
No worries.
Yeah, I'll leave it there. Leave it there for now. That part stuck out to me.
All right, we're gonna play a little bit more then.
Feel like this, then I act like this, which leads to this. That was literally default position of my heart for 6 years. Then at 6 years, I went, no, what I need to do is I need to work on me. I need to something's misfiring in me. There's some sort of disjoint in me. Like, I don't know why that bothers me. It doesn't even make sense that it bothers me. And so, man, it's funny. I mean, I'm a pastor and growing organizations that I'm leading, and just went to a biblical counselor. I said, I need help. I don't know how to navigate this. I'm trying, but I don't know how. And really started to just let someone shepherd me in my own heart, let someone lead me to see things in a way that I wasn't able to see them at the time.
Hey, Unique, if you're still there.
Oh, Neek.
Yes, I'm here. Yeah.
I ain't know. I thought maybe the drinking and worked on you.
Shut up.
In your relationship, in your marriage, is there moments where you ask for help, or how do you actually ask for help?
What do you mean ask for help? Like help with the marriage? Or...
Yeah, if you feel you guys are going through a rough patch in your marriage, how would you ask for help?
My initial thing would always be to go see a counselor, but he didn't like it, so that's it, because he's not a religious person. So
you guys aren't of the same religion.
Where else to go to but a counselor, and he doesn't like it, so there's nowhere to go right now. But anyway,
so then there's no asking of help.
If you have religion, and you're in a marriage, then you can go to them for help, and you can also go to marriage counseling for help. You can go to both. I think both will give you like a general, perspective on, the side that you believe in, and then the other stuff of what's going on as far as like scientifically what's going on too, right? You may be interested in both of them. So I think it's good that you do both. Now, everybody doesn't have that, but those to me are the two things that you should have to go through.
Okay. Chris. Go ahead.
I like that he said that he had to work on himself, and then he went to seek help. I think the biggest mistake that people make is they think that both parties have to want the help at the same time. I see that a lot with couples where they're like, I want to go see this person, but my spouse doesn't want to go see this person, so we're just at a standstill and there's nothing we can do, like go see a therapist by yourself. Like it's okay to go marriage counseling alone, and then you can work on the things that you need to work on, and then maybe that person will see the change in you and then be inspired to either a change or join you. But I think it's important to ask for help. I think it matters who you ask for help from. I don't think you should necessarily go to like friends and some family members for help, but I think you should always consider a professional. There's also lots of like self-help books, like self-help relationship books that you can get for free at the library. But yeah, I think don't. Oh, I froze. But I think it's important that once you realize that there's a problem, that you're 50% of that problem in your marriage, no matter what. You're at least 50% of the problem, unless obviously extreme situations. And so you should always seek help, whether or not your spouse wants to do the same.
That was good. I like that. That was a good answer. John, talk to me.
Hey, what's happening? All right, so
first you got fans. Right.
Hey, what's up, Jeff Priest? How you doing? Also, I want to give a shout out to my girl Chriselle. I love you, boo. And we'll all talk about that after the show. But she's not in the chat, but she's out. She actually watching.
Well, shout out to her.
Shout her out. Yeah, I want to shout her out.
Shout out to E Black in the chat.
So going back to what I like what Chris just said, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at a biblical perspective, or a biblical view, the man is actually responsible for maintaining the order in his home. So I like the fact that he went to seek help for himself first, because you have to learn make sure it's not you. Because sometimes women don't tell us everything, because sometimes they assume that we figure out some things on our own. And oftentimes, if you're attentive, you do figure some things out. Mm-hmm. But, you could very well be an issue, and it may be small for you, but it's gigantic for her. And she's just not, and maybe she doesn't know how to come to you about it. So, I think that was smart for him to do. And I also think when people are married, you guys should have give each other times where you have report cards and just kind of see what talk to each other about it. Hey, we've been married, what could I do better? And don't wear your feelings on your shoulder, and just, and then y'all have to agree early on that, we're going to be honest with each other. Like, what can I do better? You got to make it like you need to be cordial, friendly about it. Just not a time for you to just go in, but it's, how you just say, hey, look, I really don't like this, or I really don't like that. And that way it opens up a channel of communication between y'all two. Because the more you talk when you're not upset, the less you'll get upset and argue. That's just my belief.
What if you're dealing with a situation now if someone is very overly emotional? Like they'll say, this won't bother me. But then you'll say something and then it quickly escalates. Then what?
Hey, one more time.
What if someone is overly emotional? If they say you can confide in me with this, and you say it to them, and then they blow up, then what?
Can you define blow up?
Yeah.
Like they cry, or they come at you. Like if you criticize them, they start criticizing you right
either
back
or.
in there.
Either or. If they go in either direction.
Okay.
If they are not overly emotional, they get in their emotions every time when those serious conversations are about to start happening. What then?
Okay.
Whose problem is it, or should it be?
If they blow up, or if they get upset.
They get upset, or they get whichever emotion that
whatever.
Whichever.
Okay. Or why would they do that?
Because they're emotional about what you said.
Well, you calm them down. What you mean? I mean, you calm them down. You got to watch your tone and everything else when you're talking to her. You don't mimic her behavior, for sure. You calm them down and you start asking them questions like, "What did I say that got you so upset?" Or how do you feel about what I said? I see you're upset, but what's going on? What's wrong? Remember, we promised that we would keep these report cards, these conversations where you tell me and I'm willing to accept what you said was, I could work on, but what's wrong? What's really going on? Like, why are you so upset?
And now this person tries, but it's a regular occurrence.
Okay, are they? I think there's okay. I'm a crier, so any conflict, I cry. Not like that. I just can't help it. My eyes just start watering.
A tear runner?
Yeah.
I love you, Chris.
Sorry, say again, John?
She got the Michael Jordan picture. I got you. I understand. I'll make a new meme, the Chris. Red eyes.
Yeah, that's me. I don't know why. And he can say everything right and have a good tone, and I will still cry. And I think what John was saying about like asking just why are you crying? But then at that point, there's only so much you can do, because if you ask why and they don't answer, because typically I will say, oh, it's because I want to do better and I'm like disappointed in myself. So I just can't help it. I'm crying. E-Black.
Look at E-Black.
I know, it's so embarrassing. I can't help it though.
Chris is looking like this every time arguments happen.
But I think so. If they're a crier like me, they have to, number one, accept the fact that they cry a lot, and they have to reassure you that you didn't do anything wrong, and then understand why they're crying in the first place. Okay. But I think if it's a relationship where the person, like one person expresses their needs, like what's wrong, what needs to be improved, and then they go back at you with what you need to improve, like that tit for tat thing, I think that's different than someone that just gets emotional, because people dealing with conflict can be hard, and then when you are with someone and you want to do well, typically you have good intentions. And so I think there's a difference between like being sad because of the conflict, like you can't expect people to just not react, versus trying to bring the other person down because you feel hurt. I think there's a difference.
Yeah.
Because at that point, that's like real emotional immaturity.
I think I agree with you. The blowing up is a little bit harder to actually handle, just because it's more like, I mean, it's still emotional. It's just the person getting in their feelings, but the anger part is much harder to deal with than the sadness part.
Because you don't get to a solution. At least if the person's just sad, they're still like they're still processing what was said, and you can still kind of talk about it once they're over being sad. But if they're just blowing up at you, you're not going to get to a solution, So it's just going to be like what he was saying, that cycle. It's going to be a cycle every single time. Mm-hmm. And I've seen relationships like that, and they're not good. Yeah, I'm not jealous of them.
I've seen like people in a good relationship, but then whenever like their relationship is good all the way up until when it comes to like arguments, then it just becomes like all out war, and it's like, yo, this is how, But at that point, I think there's a much deeper rooted issue that was never addressed, and now there's a lot of resentment being held on with it.
You know that saying, right? It's a thin line between love and hate.
Yes.
That's what that sounds like to me. Like when it's good, they loving each other hard, but they cross that line and hate each other just as much as that love.
To me, for them, it's just there's a lot of resentment. There's a lot of unsaid needs. Because I understand what this guy Matt Chandler was saying, in that you got to teach that person how to love you. You got to teach that person how you exactly want to be loved. I think that is a thing you have to do, though, because not everyone's going to know. They could be doing everything that they think is right, or that they think you should appreciate, which you'll still appreciate, but at the end of the day, there's something that you feel loved from when you see it versus something that you just appreciate, I think. But no, these two people, I don't know if it's that thin line between love and hate. I think it's just pure resentment at some point. I think it's just they've sat too long without talking about a lot. And now it's just once something like even triggers just a little bit of emotion, then it just all comes out. But all right, let's finish this thing up.
And really, when I just started working on me, like it, now all of a sudden Lauren wasn't getting confused by my weirdness, and she was able to see herself more clearly. And then Lauren began to take some steps to work on her own heart. And so it was amazing that when I quit trying to be the Holy Spirit for her, when I quit trying to say, this is what I need you to do in order for me to be happy, but really just said, I'm going to love and serve her regardless. I will not demand reciprocity. If I get reciprocity, then praise God, but I'm not going to demand it. I'm just going to love and serve her like Ephesians 5 tells me to. And that'll be that. And I'm going to trust the Lord to be my strength. And I'm going to find my contentment, not in my wife. I'm going to find my contentment in the Lord. And by his grace and through some biblical guidance, I started walking that path. And then Lauren started walking that path. And man, the turn has been, just best friend in the world. Can't wait to get home. Hate to leave in the morning. And even today, I got to the office today at 6 for a meeting. And man, I just took a little 10-minute break, got in my car, ran home, gave her a kiss, got back in the car, came right back to that. We're in a beautiful season.
How long did that turn take?
When things are difficult, just those little increments feel like 100 miles, and so you could feel year 7 was a significant year for us. And then it's just leaps and bounds ever since. And I think both of us can default back into old modes, but we kind of know what's going on in our heart in that moment. Yeah. So I know if I have this thought, okay, that thought isn't consistent with reality. It's not consistent with the Word of God. That's my insecurities. That's my flesh. And I can line myself up with what the Word of God teaches and approach my wife with the gentleness and service that the Lord would call me to.
How many years has it been now, Mary?
We'll celebrate 15 next month.
Great, right? 15 years of marriage.
Man, that's beautiful. That's awesome. 15
years of marriage, man.
And I think everything he said was just so relatable. Like, I was having a conversation with a friend not too long ago, and she has a love interest, and she was like, I just want to know where we're going. I'm going to ask him when I see him in person what his intentions are with me. And I was like, I was like, don't ask questions that you don't want the answer to. Yeah. And in terms of because what happens is it's when you feel insecure, right? Mm-hmm. You project that onto that person. And then what happens is in your head, you have an idea of what you want them to say, how you want them to respond, the answer that you would love to hear. And when what they say does not align with what you wanted to hear, everything's going to blow up. And it's really just you feeling insecure, and sometimes you just have to worry about, okay, what am I doing? Right? Am I in a place where he feels like being with me is nice? Have I checked that box yet? Does he like me right now, yet alone can he see 10 years in the future, Mm-hmm. And I think some people, they look over that and they're just like, well, they're not giving me what I want right now. But it's like, well, are you being 100% present in this moment and trying to be as intentional as possible to make your experiences with this person positive? And I think people look over that. They're just so worried about what this other person is doing and how it's making them feel. And they completely ignore where they're lacking on their part of it.
That's good. Especially the lacking part. I liked what he said at the end too, because it was actually hitting exactly on what you were saying, Chris. And that once he started changing himself, she immediately started changing herself too, because and doing things for the other person without expecting anything in return. I would say that's one of the hardest things to do sometimes. It's tough because everyone wants to be appreciated. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I didn't like you don't ever want to be that person that's like, oh, but I did this for you. But sometimes it's like, yo, how are you being this way to me right now? I did this, and this. Like, stop. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because that's kind of like, you know, me and my son was talking about this earlier, right? Where oftentimes men are wired. When we pour our resources into something, we expect something in return. Like, you can agree, disagree, but if you really look at how men operate and move, that's the truth. Why do you think when men, if they buy you if y'all break up, they want their stuff back? Because they look at it like resources. Well, your feelings are like resources. And when you pour that into somebody, you really, but a lot of men, you know, they don't get that, so they just don't say nothing. But some men do say something. Some men do, you know, I do this, I do that, I do this, do that. You don't appreciate nothing I do.
Yeah, that's ugly.
That's why it's important when you're dating that it's certain little things you want to look for. Like when you say little things, does she say thank you? Like when you give her a compliment, does she say thank you? Or does she say something like, oh, I know? Or does she say, all my friends tell me that? Like if she says, I know, or all my friends tell you that, tell her that.
Red flag.
That's a red flag. And as men, we overlook those things because we're too focused on what she looks like. But when you really get serious and you really want to be with somebody, then you need to watch. Does she say, hey, I appreciate you? Does she say those things? Does she say thank you? Is she polite? Is she kind? What kind of manners does she have? Like everybody looks for men to have the manners. You need to look for her to have manners.
Facts.
And you need to look at how she treats her family. Is she a family-oriented person? You know, a lot of times as men, we're so wrapped up in trying to get her away from everybody else to be private alone with us. But that's more like a sexual thing. You want some affection. You want some intimate time. Why don't you stay and enjoy that time she's spending around her family so your black ass can observe some shit? I like a woman who spends time with her family. Because that means when we have a family, she's going to spend time with us. That's how she's conditioned. That's what she likes. That's what she's used to. And typically those women don't have fun girl summers or whatever you call hot girl summers, whatever. Yeah, hot girl summers or whatever you call it. You know what I'm saying? They want to be around the house. They want to be with you. But in the video, and referencing the video, that's exactly what he brought up what I was talking about. It is on him. Learn yourself first, right? You're the leader of the house. Your wife will learn from you and will follow you if you be the example. If you set the example, she will follow you. She will. She didn't marry you for no particular reason. She'll follow you.
And that's why I think divorce. That's why I think. Sorry to cut you off, John.
No, you good.
And that's why I think divorce is a bad option, though. That's why I think divorce is not a good thing. Because look how long he said, 6 years of that. It was 6 years before that finally clicked. Most people don't feel good in 2 years and they're like, all right, I'm done. Peace. And everyone around them is high-fiving them, you know. Good job, good going. Divorce parties. But most people aren't going to learn how to figure each other out. And that's why I don't think people come into relationships perfect or ready. In fact, a lot of times I think you're not going to be at all ready. You know what I mean? Peace, everyone. Who's that? I am the only Ruck. Shout out to you, bro. Yeah, I just don't think. I did drop a question in the chat. Do you understand how to sustain a long-term marriage? Chris, start off with you. Do you understand how to? Do you think you understand how to sustain a long-term marriage?
I think so. Like I think I understand how to get there, like how to make it sustainable. Like I understand that it won't always feel like it is, but I know how to like humble myself and ask for help if needed, and like identify when there are issues. And I think that kind of just encapsulates sustaining a marriage. You know, if you know that there's going to be issues and you're willing to do whatever it takes to fix it, I think that's, you know, half the work. So
yeah,
maybe not, you know, but I think I have confidence that I can, at least. That if I don't get it now, I will eventually.
Yeah. John, what you think?
On how to sustain a marriage? Yeah.
Yeah. Do you understand how to sustain a long-term marriage?
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, I understand. Sure do.
What would it take?
Next question. Huh? Huh? What? Huh?
Cap.
No, I'm joking. I'm just playing. I do know. So what? Okay. So first off, you have to have excellent communication. I mean, when I say you have to have excellent communication, man.
Okay.
That's why you got to be best friends. Like you got to learn how to get on that friend level too. Like so you can talk freely with her, so she ain't like Chris and standing there with her tears running down her face. I just want to do better. I'm so sorry. I'm joking, Chris. I'm just teasing you. But you need to have a strong line of communication. And you got to come into this thing. First, you got to want to be married. Let's just get that out the way. So let's do some introspection and like, why am I wanting to marry? Is it anything about me, any insecurities that I have that's making me think I want to get married? That's first and foremost. And if it's something other than you just can't stand to be without this woman, right? Like you don't like it when it takes a long time for her to, like, you hadn't heard a text from her for a while and you missing her. You think about her. She's like the one thing that just revolves around in your mind. And you really want to be with this person. She's got the attributes you're looking for. She's demonstrated. She is demonstrating all the things that the characteristic naturally in her natural environment. She's moving like how you would see your wife moving. And this is what you want. And then you're ready. Like you're done. So you're done. Like there's no more question marks in your mind. Oh, maybe what about that one? What about this one over here? No, you're done. Then you can move forward. And once you're healthy like that, and you're gonna communicate with her, then as a man, then you need to be ready to do all the things that come along with that responsibility, and do it with a smile on your face. Like period. It's not hard. It's not that hard, especially when you want to be a good husband. Like when you want to be married and you want to be a good husband, shoot.
Shout out Mrs. She said in the chat.
See, I'm at that point. I want to be married.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna be a good husband. Facts.
I think me personally, I believe that I like everything that was said, but I believe the most important thing is stepping into it thinking I don't know this person and willing to want to get to know that person. Understanding that you're not always going to be right. Humble yourself to realize that you're not always going to be right.
Yep.
and learn to forgive.
Absolutely.
Learn to forgive and let go, because if you're gonna be with someone for the rest of your life,
forever, nigga,
that's a long
damn
time, bro.
For some
Like,
of y'all.
that is a long time. So there's a lot of mistakes that are gonna happen along the way. And it is going back to that Disney idea, right? How things are always gonna be perfect. Things are not always gonna be perfect.
Nope.
And people are gonna mess up a lot. Shout out to Kings and Dreams.
What's happening, Kings and Dreams? Shout out to you.
Shout out to Rosa in the chat.
What's up, Rosa?
Yeah, but I believe that coming to the honestly, I really don't know. I don't know what the hell it takes to get married. I would like to think I know. I'd like to think that if you want it, you
you know.
I just think that it's, work hard at it every single day. You wake up wanting it to be better, and that's about it.
If you want to be married, man, a lot of this stuff will fall in line. If you want, because I just told you, like, the success of the marriage really is on the husband. Go look it up. Go look it up. Sometimes you might have to dish out an apology, and you were completely right. That's when you check your ego and do it anyway. Like, do you really have to be right, nigga? Like, is it that bit important that you're right?
Yes.
But
No.
is it? That sounds a little happy wife. Happy
Yeah.
wife.
There we go. Talk to him, Chris. Talk to him.
I don't think like.
You
I
can
think,
let
I think
her
it's,
know
I
that
think
she
it's,
was wrong, but you can still make amends with her. Like, you don't have to, like, if she's not talking to you, okay, get it. Okay, don't address it again. Like, you do not have to beat it into her head why she wrong.
No, that's
and
true.
You're right. You can just drop that and just focus on how she feeling right now. Because it's not worth it, y'all walking around the house. You're not talking to her because she's not talking to you. That's childish as hell. Well, you gonna hold your breath? I'll hold my breath too. Well, one of y'all motherfuckers gonna faint in a minute.
She better know that. She better know that it's me. That's what happens, okay? And that's she's either gonna know it's me or she's going to wake up and realize that I won.
I have literally seen couples argue over the dumbest shit. Right? the dumbest shit. And then one of them will come over to me. Hey, can I crash over here tonight? Like, well, what, nigga? You got a whole life. Man, she getting on my damn nerve. What's wrong? Talking about I need to take out the trash. She could take the goddamn trash out too. I'm like, wait, what, nigga? You should take out I get tired of taking out the trash. And I told her she could take out the trash, and she said no, and that's where we at, right here. Nigga, you came over my house, invading my space because you won't want to take out the damn trash? She got 2 legs and 2 arms. I just bought her some damn Gucci sandals. She can take them in the damn sandals out there she wanted for $289 to just like I can. I'm like, wow, shit. I don't know. Do you really want to keep that war going? I mean, you can win the fight, but you ain't gonna win the war, my brother. Better take your ass in there, make up, and get that damn trash out the house. Period. It ain't that serious. It's not. It's really not. And y'all probably know some couples that's either gonna break up or have broken up over some very trivial bullshit. Very trivial. And then you start digging, because see, when you let that shit right there fester, let me tell you what happens. They realize, a realization occurs that this is not really warranted. Like, this is not that big of a thing. So let me dig into my fucking bag of trauma and pull out some shit that you really did. And let's talk about that one. All because you wouldn't damn come back and just make amends. Now she's building a list. And the longer you stay gone, the madder her ass get. And the longer you stay not talking to her, the madder she gets. And then when you go to talk to her, and another thing, I don't like your mama and your brother breath stink. I mean, she just go the fuck off. Everything she did not like about you and yours, she gonna let you know about it.
You
I
are
digress.
correct. The best kind of correct.
I think that the advice you're giving to just the man is fair, but there has to be someone on her side telling her how to be less toxic.
Thank you, Chris.
So when you come home and you make amends, she's not still angry and telling you that your brother's breath stinks. And I think that's the problem. Is like, no, she has to be doing her work as well. Like, it's good that you're saying, okay, this is kind of pointless to be mad at. Like, that's very introspective, and that's good. But if you come home and she's still angry with you and she's still throwing all this stuff at you, where is that going to get you? When your spouse is still being combative, even though you've tried to meet them halfway, now what? The happy wife thing is going to drive you nuts. You can only get so far with "I'm sorry" and
I'm a little slick mouth. I got a slick tongue, so
nah. Well,
I can get her back right. You know what I'm saying? I can.
I don't know.
Is that grounds for divorce if she keep throwing stuff at you and it's constant? CK.
What you mean throwing items, objects?
Still not grounds for divorce. You picked her. Sleep in the bed you made. You guys stay married.
Listen,
throwing items?
No.
What's she throwing?
Throwing
items, metaphorically, nigga, or literally?
So you don't think violence is a ground for divorce?
But let's leave it. We can leave it at like throwing criticisms. Let's leave violence out of it.
Yeah, leave violence out of it.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
that's what I thought you meant by throwing things.
Throwing up criticisms.
Yeah, hurling insults.
No, ain't nobody talking about picking up no damn objects now. You talking about
that's a little crazy. Chicken again. Yeah, exactly. And that's when you sometimes see it's people like Rosa that don't get it. It's always the man's fault. It's always the man. What? How, Sway?
Now you know, Rosa, it ain't always our fault. Sometimes y'all asses be in one of them moods
for no reason.
I mean, but when you got that friendship going on with your girl, like you can get her out of that mood. You feel me? I don't know. I just got a way about me. I don't know. I don't really have them. Like I ain't never really had that kind of like issue with I just didn't. I just did not have it. I could come in there and like, come here, and that's that. Like it's a wrap. It's over with.
Can I ask CKQ, what do you consider a long-term relationship or long-term marriage?
What's a long-term marriage? Like we're talking the ones that all of us look at and envy. We're talking like the 50, 60-year marriages. Like those are the ones that I'm sure everyone that's getting married, that's what they're looking at. Like, oh, I want to grow old with this person. I want us to be 80 years old, swinging on the swing set in a kid's playground before someone falls and breaks their hip. Those kinds of marriages.
Yeah, but the marriages from back in the days that was together 50, 60 years, they had no choice but to stay together, and they always had families down the street, and you don't even know what was going on in those 50, 60-year marriages. Like, I feel like people think it's going to be fairy tales for the whole 50, 60 years. No, it's not. Like, real life gets in the way, and you can't you can't always compliment. You can't always do the shit that you used to do. And if you can't, that person needs to have their own internal self-love to not always get it from you, because you are human and you may not give it to them when they really need it, because that's life.
Like, I agree to an extent. Yes, I'm not saying that you can't always do the same exact thing every single time, because both of you are going to be evolving. If at 17 years old you did something that made her laugh whenever she was angry, if you try that at 27 years old, it's probably not going to work out too well. Because at that point she's a different person. You know what I mean? So, but I don't see thinking of ending a relationship at any point in time. Obviously, outside of things like abuse or, you know.
You don't think people grow apart? Because sometimes when you grow to learn yourself, you grow to learn that this is not the person, is not going in the same direction as me. Sometimes you may
These are
learn
things
stuff about yourself, and it may not bring you closer together. It may bring you further apart. Once you start to know
I
yourself.
don't think. I think you can. I think me personally. I think you could grow to love anyone. And what you got to figure out some things before you actually hop into a marriage. You got to kind of figure out where their mind, because basic things you could kind of tell where that person's mind is and the trajectory that they're on. And it's kind of like, all right, we're moving in a similar direction, so we can actually work out together. Do I think people can grow apart?
If you find you evolve into something different, but if the stuff that you believed,
no.
Stuff that you believe when you were 19, all of a sudden at 40, you don't believe anymore.
So where were they during these whole conversations though? That's where I'm kind of saying, like, where was your partner, or are they just kind of, you were just going on these magnificent journeys by yourself and they were just at home?
If you start therapy by yourself, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you start therapy by yourself and you start to do things that takes you in a different direction than where your partner was going, that can happen. That can happen. You don't always learn yourself and it brings you closer to that person. It doesn't always happen that way. That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't mean to interject, but hi everybody. I miss you too, Doc. I just wanted to say something. Yannick, first of all, let's go for the beginning. Who taught you about marriage? Who taught you about long-term marriage, what it involved and all of that? That's the difference between before and now. You said they didn't have a choice. They did have a choice, and they chose not to be selfish as opposed to people today. They was looking at legacy and family and putting everybody else before them because they knew they was building and they was passing the torch. Today, you can't pass a motherfucking recipe to these motherfuckers because everybody knows everything.
Everything. I'll Google it.
Yeah, that's true.
But how did it get that way?
They get that way because nobody taught them.
It got that way because back in the days, we could only really depend on us. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Like we were, how it was. So that's why they had no choice. That's why I said they had no choice, because they really only.
They had the choice. Right? I had the conversation.
Listen. Then what happens as soon as they start to do deals with government? What happens? They have a choice now, and they start to teach their. Yannick, it down to where it is now. They started that break in
Yannick, what you're describing right now is excuses. The mindset is what maintains. This is the conversation I had with my goddaughter this morning. I said, I cannot chastise you about doing dishes because I got to first look at, did I teach you how to do them? If I taught you how to do them correct, now I can chastise. But if I didn't teach you and you go messing up and, screwing up, how can I get on you? I didn't teach you.
You can't get onto it for not setting the standard.
So this is the whole point. If I teach you how to drive, if I teach you the fundamentals, the basics of certain things, what to look for in a man, and so forth, any mistake or anything negligent after that is on you because you knew. But if you didn't know, you're walking blind.
All right, we're gonna get Japrice in the conversation real quick. Japrice, what's going on? How you doing?
Hi! Oh my gosh, I haven't been on your live in so long. How are you doing?
Hey. How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm all right. How you
Is it a bunch of I know it's like a bunch of noise in the background.
Yeah,
Sorry about that.
you got your whole football team in the back.
I know. I'm gonna move to another room in like 1 minute. Give me a second.
Okay. No worries.
I
guess
just got
we're
done eating dinner, so I'm just like picking up really quick. I didn't know I didn't know you was gonna accept me at this soon, but give me 1 minute, please. Let me clean up
Yeah,
the
no problem.
table.
I'm gonna. All right, I'll leave you sitting there then. Carl, you got fans. You got fans. John, I
No,
believe you wanted to actually say something.
Yeah. All right, so the whole growing apart thing, like, so when you go to look at like marriage, right? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
I hear you loud and clear.
Okay, cool. All right, so when you looking at marriage, man, like, why did you get married?
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if two people married out of convenience, and sometimes it's a known convenience and it's unknown convenience. Remember when I said you need to look at yourself, and are you getting married based on some insecurities, or you get married because you just can't be without this person? If you get married and it ends up being a convenience, because if it's got anything to do with you feeling better about yourself, or like sometimes a dude who's insecure about talking to women will marry a woman who only wants the money and resources that he has, and he's a hard worker, because he wants one woman that by law has to at some point sleep with him, and he don't want to be out here in the streets dating. But that's an insecurity. He don't want to go out and mingle with other women and take a chance on being single for maybe a year or two, right? So he marries the first woman that will actually marry him because he has resources.
I know what that's called.
Like
Emotional damage.
Agreeable dude who is like really like he's not really gonna put up, he's not gonna, for a fact he's not gonna do nothing to you physically, and he's not a yes man, but he's like just really laid back, you know what I mean? And that makes you feel better about you. You're in a convenient marriage. You're not in a marriage based off of love. You're in a marriage that's set as a coping mechanism.
But we already conditioned.
You can grow apart.
In the last 20 years, we're already conditioned. It's way too late to turn back. It's way too late to change, because we already conditioned the last 2-3 generations on microwaving relationships, microwaving marriages, convenience. Just like I had an argument with a brother the other day, and I keep saying it's over and over. We as Black folks are more attracted to what we want instead of focusing on what we need, so we can always have what we want. We're doing it backwards, and we're conditioned. There's no turning back now. Too many people have gotten infected, as I say, or contaminated. That's how I've been putting it.
What do you mean by that, Carl?
We're contaminated in our mindset that we cannot, we're dismissing the notion that the women before us was, and this is true facts. I mean, the women today cannot even fathom the idea of cooking 5 days a week and washing clothes by hand and maintaining 5, 10, 15, 20 kids and so on. Why? Because we're contaminated with what we want.
So is that your expectation?
No, it's not an expectation, Simon. This is a contamination of mindset that
just wait for a second and just think about what you're talking about. I asked you a couple of questions, right? Now you're going, okay, this happened before, and I asked you, is that your expectation for this in this present age?
No, hell no. Because now,
so what are you? If a woman walked into your life today, what are you expecting? Are you expecting her to wash our clothes?
No. Right?
Great question, Simon.
No, today, knowing the before and knowing the now, you sit and you analyze and say, well, since there's no turning back, now you can just go for just peace and cooperation. That's right. the basic line right there.
All right, so I'll tell you, most women in this day and age will say, I've got a washing machine. I ain't cleaning shit by my hands.
I'm not concerned with that. Peace and cooperation. Everything else is covered. I just need
So,
that.
are you able to provide,
of course,
total amenities in terms of like a washing machine, a dishwasher, a cooker, a cleaner? You know, everyone that's like that detracts from a woman actually having to like lay her hands on any type of domestic situation, and you're happy with that.
Peace and cooperation. Everything else is taken care of. All I need you to do is provide me with the necessary tools so I can function in my capacity as provider and protector. It's very simple.
So what's the necessary to
Hold on to that real quick. Chris, you want to say something?
You can go ahead.
All right, I was actually going to go to Japrice.
Oh,
she's finally back.
Okay, yes. Hi.
Sorry, Clement. I was just I thought.
No worries. You're on the roll, bro.
It's interesting. Yeah. Like your hair blew me.
Guess not. All right, Chris, you were gonna say?
I was just gonna I was liking where Simon was going
Back
with
on
that.
Paul Simon, right? Yeah, he was.
Because one thing I've noticed is that a lot of men highlight the differences between women today and women then, and they'll say things like women today are not like women then, but then you ask them, okay, well, what do you look for? Like, what are you looking for? What are your expectations in the woman that you're going to marry? And I just feel like their answers sometimes aren't helpful.
No, but see,
like I'm just saying, like, either it doesn't have to be you necessarily, but I've had this conversation with lots of different men on these platforms. Either they don't know, or they will say something like it doesn't matter because like there just aren't any women that are, I guess the idea of finding a woman to meet whatever expectations that they have just seems so impossible or just so unrealistic. So I was just going to say those are some good questions.
It's mistranslated because you said expectation. There isn't no expectation. It is a requirement. For the man that knows about the before and the now, and knows that he's fighting a losing battle on the contamination part of the mindset, he's drawing a line and saying, okay, I can't have before. I see what's in front of me now. I'm going to make a line. Peace and cooperation. That's it. If you can't, if you could, in other words, all I want is a cup of tea. If you can fuck up a cup of tea, then I don't need you.
What?
It's that simple. Men, if you noticed, men are making it more simple. Really, Chris?
No, I understand that. But my question is,
right after Chris, John, you could go.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Chris. Go ahead.
Like, why is there like middle ground? Like, what is her role as a wife? Like, why is it she's not washing clothes by hand, so she's useless except for like peace and cooperation that's a big deal. But I just don't understand how.
The reason why
I don't get how that jump happens. Like, she can still wash clothes even though there's a wash machine now. She can still cook 4 days out of the week instead of all 5. Like, there's compromise, right? Like, why is it she can't do anything except give me like why is that requirement?
If you this is my take on it to answer your question, and this from talking with brothers and sisters, this is what I've gotten a lot of. When you make things simple, your stress level is low. When you make it complicated by adding all these ingredients that makes no damn difference or sense either way, because nobody's perfect, everybody got flaws. So why are we putting all these words like expectation? Replace the word expectation and make it requirement. Keep it simple and basic. Just like I said, a cup of tea. If you keep it that simple, there's no possible way, unless you're a complete idiot, you can fuck up basic 2 + 2. The more simple it is for a woman, the less stress for you. Y'all could work together, y'all could get along with each other and take it from there. But if you make it complicated by, oh, I gotta add this, I gotta add this, it becomes complicated. And guess where the stress level goes? Up. Because now you're trying to keep up. Every week is something new, something different.
All right, hold on, Simon.
Sorry, Clement.
No worries. After John, you go.
You know, this is gonna go back to what I said earlier. When you are dating, because I completely understand the points that Carl is making, and he makes some very good points. Because there is a contaminated mindset in a lot of women, but all of them ain't contaminated. So you need to look for the ones that's not contaminated. And you'd be surprised that some of the ones that's younger than us, younger than me, way younger than me, who was raised by granny, right? And they don't think like that because granny taught them, baby, you got to do this. This is what you do. She got her first heartache. Granny said, well, when you get older now, them old boys, they like this, this, and that. And grandma gonna put game to her ass. And she gonna teach her. You gotta find her. If that's what you like, you gotta find one like that. Don't date somebody just like I said. When you out here dating, nigga, are you trying to get? Are you looking for your damn reinforcement? Are you operating on a damn reward system, or are you operating like
Scooby Snack?
Like, are you hunting? You know what I'm saying? Like, are you seriously hunting? But if I hunt, okay, I hunt, and everybody knows that men are hunters. That's a fact. I don't give a damn what no new people think. Y'all weird. I'm telling you, men are hunters. That's a fact. Now I hunt. Seriously, I do hunt animals. If the right buck don't fucking come by, I'm not going to take him. And you got to look at it the same way. And I hear women, I ain't no damn deer. Yeah, you're a two-legged deer. Yes, you are. But anyway, he got to have a certain, his tines got to be a certain width I'm looking for. He's got to have a certain number count. He needs to weigh a certain weight. So I've got a standard, right? Okay, if this some bitch walk by, he don't fit my standard, next deer. And that means that sometimes I come out the fucking woods empty-handed.
There you go. Just like the club.
Yo, I'll tell you something.
It's the same thing with a woman. If she don't do that, and she don't do that, I'm not fixing to try to build that in. She's got to have a very basic set of things that I'm looking for. I need her to be agreeable, kind to other people, selfless, not selfish, but selfless, attractive, smart, trustworthy. She needs to fit those tenets of the virtuous woman. And those are not real hard things to come by. Because if you're a basic good, just a good person, you'll fall right into that damn category. And I can be happy with that woman.
Facts.
If you qualify.
Hold up, Simon.
Oh, yeah, I was about to ask you if it's okay for me to talk.
Yeah, go for it. Damn, you got the mic and you went silent.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking. No, this is serious for me because like every time I come up here, I've given like my all to you, right, on this platform. So it's like I'll do the same again and again and again, like just life philosophies. So I'm raising my daughter, right? What I'm finding astounding is that she has the same traits as her mother. She acts like her mother. She talks like her mother. She has the same patterns as her mother. And this is like basic stuff, like, oh, when do you go to sleep? Her emotions, her retributes, the way she reacts to me. Like, I can't get away from it. And I think the thing is like men do not, I come back to this thing that I stated in the first place, that in terms of understanding women, I don't know if we really understand women. I'm not trying to detract from men. I just don't understand. Like, if you actually have raised a child that is a girl, and she's turning around, she's pulling up this attitude, she's got a whole attitude. Like, I swear to God, like, she dances, she does this. Look, I had a boy, he does not do that stuff. Like, she has this whole thing where it's just like, she's got this, oh, Daddy, take me to the hairdressers. I'm like, God damn, like, wow. Do you know what I mean?
Called growing.
It's like,
called
wow.
growing
Like,
adaptions.
no, it's not growing adaptions. She is innately like that. This is a human thing. This is a human being. And I've not suscepted her to all that stuff. Like, I've not put commercialized stuff in front of her. It's just really interesting. It's really interesting that she's just so feminine. It's unbelievable. Like, it's really unbelievable.
My goddaughter went through 4 different personalities in the last 10 years. So, I mean, come on. It's a just adapt and accept. Now, I respect her as a woman because she has proven herself to be responsible as a woman.
Did you actually raise that child?
Of course.
No, literally. With
I
no
said,
one else. With no one else.
Not with nobody else, but
Exactly. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm talking
that's
about
impossible, really, as a man.
No, it's not. It's not impossible because that's what I'm doing. I'm literally raising this child. I'm a single father. I've no family. I'm literally raising this child by myself, and I'm experiencing every single movement she makes. I'm experiencing, you know, how she reacts to me, how she talks to me, how, you know, I'm like, I'm a man, right? I'm like, I've got my own needs. I've got my own being. I don't have I've not been in a relationship for like, I don't know, like 3 years. You know, I have to deal with her mother, who is kind of inept. Like, she is like docile. So every time we speak to her, she has a reaction, but it's a connection, but doesn't really mean anything. So, it's really disheartening.
Going off of what you're saying, Simon, because I definitely agree with you. A while back when I worked for a different company, I asked my old boss. He was a girl dad. He was a father of, I think, 2 girls. I think either 2 or 3 girls. And I was asking him, you know, at some point in time when I have kids, I guess, what do you feel you really taught them that's really helped them out? Like, are there values that you noticed that they really picked up on? And he said, honestly, the biggest thing that I learned is that they're their own people. Like, these kids, they are legit. They're literally their own human being.
That's what we were when we was growing up. Same thing.
I can only give them, you know, my perspective and my little thoughts.
We all did. We accept some things and we threw away some things.
But they're still going to grow up and be their own people.
That's right.
We can detract from how much we actually put into our children and what they turn out to be as adults. So, like, literally today, I had to bring my daughter into school, and that was a 30-minute journey. And I swear to God, she slipped on the snow about 100 times. I had to drag her hand up, like, literally 100 times versus 30 times in a minute. And my mind does not work like that. But, you know, I had police cars drawing by. I had people scrutinizing us. I had like people turning around going, oh, you should put some boots on her. You know, when I literally 30 minutes before we even took this journey, we tested that out. She put boots on her. And, you know, this is just community shit. It was just like, wow, you people really. And the thing is, it's like, the thing with, if you ever have a child, right, just take this into accordance. If you can't pull that child up at 9, whatever time it is, 8:15, whatever, you're going to be scrutinized by social services. So you know, for the young people that are trying to look at having children, just be aware of the fact that it becomes a different situation when they start going to school. It's like when you take your child into school, it's a different thing. You need to get a uniform and all this sort of stuff, unless you're going into sort of some public school and they can just wear.
I'm gonna try to definitely homeschool my kids. But I do want to do a quick reaction video. One last, hopefully John is still there for this one last video. Quick last reaction video, as I know the doctor has to go. He's got to go save lives, right?
The doctor's got to go. Why?
So, last reaction video. Fair use. Oops.
I know I couldn't, but these muffins are delicious.
And we'll share our favorite recipes later in the hour. But first, our guest says, don't give in to road rage. Stay calm behind the wheel and coolly plot your road revenge. Danny Preston is a defensive driving instructor who teaches people how to control their temper behind the wheel. Welcome, Danny.
Thanks for having me. Danny, we've all been there. There's nothing I hate more than getting cut off.
That drives me nuts. I want to scream out my window.
But ultimately, getting into an argument with a stranger isn't going to accomplish anything but stress you out.
Well, how should you respond instead?
Yeah, take a deep breath, count to 10, then follow the other driver home.
Well, you don't want to get into a fight on the highway.
Right. Once you know where he lives, you should sneak into his house every couple weeks, rearrange a bunch of things. Something that says, you're out there and you're unpredictable.
Sounds like that's safer than losing your temper.
Anger's just one letter away from danger.
Ooh.
I like that.
You want to stay zen, keep your mind clear, and put a plan in place that will ruin the other driver's chance at a happy future.
Now, you also talk a lot about empathy, putting yourself in the other driver's shoes.
Exactly, Jim. Just last week, I was waiting for a stoplight to change when some angry driver behind me was leaning on the horn. But then I remembered he's human, just like me. He has a family that loves him, and that's an exploitable weakness. I started sending him videotapes, hours-long videotapes filmed outside his parents' home. Now, he's frantic and confused, but I always say you can't give angry drivers the satisfaction of knowing why their parents are being filmed, which is why I call them every night from a payphone and just recite a series of cryptic numbers that don't mean anything.
Calm, cool, collected. I love it.
Well, getting cut off is one thing, but how do you possibly stay calm during a fender bender that wasn't your fault?
Oh boy, I need this one.
Of course, it's hard to keep a cool head in that situation. You'll feel the urge to slam into the jerk's car right where you see the baby seat. But you don't want to do anything that can get somebody hurt on the road. Instead, you should murder the person's next door neighbor. But when he moves someplace safer, you follow him and you kill his next door neighbor again and again. Now he can't escape death and he has no idea who you even are.
Oh, that is a great driving tip.
There's something a lot of people want to know. What if someone's getting angry about your driving?
You can't let it get to you. Now, for example, in 1996, some guy gave me the middle finger after I cut him off. I recognized him from TV. That's when I decided to become a defensive driving instructor, developing the skills I needed to eventually be as an expert. Once you're there, it's just a simple matter of switching out his muffins with the ones you made yourself. Those muffins were pretty good, weren't they, Jim? How many did you eat?
One.
Thank you so much for sharing your tips, Danny.
Danny is not my true name.
I can't respond because I got lights and sirens in my car. So go ahead, blow your horn. I'm gonna put my siren on, and that's the end of the conversation.
So working in anger, people. All right. That had nothing to do with the conversation, but that was just a funny one I once throw in there.
That was funny though.
It kind of. Oh, sorry, Kyle.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was gonna say it kind of ties back to what you were saying earlier, Clem, about forgive and let go. Don't try to get revenge in your marriage. Just let it go and move on. Don't try to get them back.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I mean,
you sound stalkerish to me. He should be locked up for sending what to his house? What are you doing, bro?
Murdered the next door neighbor every time. That's it. Simon, I got a question for you.
No.
What is your tips for staying in a long-term marriage?
Don't fall in love.
What? God damn, you almost want me to choke.
Dang. We got haters in the chat.
Wait a minute. What did you just say again?
Don't fall in love.
What was the question again, Clement?
Right, Clement. Yeah, that's right.
What's your advice for staying in a long-term relationship?
Clement, state that again, just so that it understand well, like what's going on.
So what's your advice for staying in a long-term marriage?
Don't be in love.
Oh,
Don't
Lord
be
help us.
in love.
I told you we're contaminated.
You can't. You can't, and I'll tell you why. If you want some sort of context,
I understand it.
Short version.
Emotional damage.
That's all that is. Okay.
Right.
Please give me the short version because this is very interesting. Don't fall in love.
You can't be in love in a marriage. Period. It's a business situation.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
The fuck?
Oh boy.
What, you don't agree?
Well, I turn my damn camera off for 5 seconds and then Simon get down. Now I'm back. They just gonna have to knock on the damn door. What the hell, Simon just said? You can't love. Simon is he actually listen. I ain't gonna pick on Simon too bad because Simon is
pick on me. Pick on me.
I don't like the way Simon's wording it, but he's making a very valid point. Let me explain before I go.
No, Doc. We already know it's transactional. We're not gonna repeat. We know it's transactional.
I ain't talking about
No. Before you dig him out of this hole, I want Simon. Please.
Okay,
Simon.
all right. I was trying to help you out, buddy.
No.
I ain't seen you in a long time, Simon. I was about to jump on Simon bandwagon, on the corner side, the little step up and ride with you for a minute.
Nah.
Dig yourself in, and I'll try to get
I see your suicide videos.
The advice to a long-term marriage:
don't
fall in love.
Please elaborate.
Or don't be in love.
All right, no. I get real tired of this shit because it's like, look, you bros have not acknowledged women. Like, it's like I've been in a marriage for like 10 years. Now, if anybody can turn around and say, okay, I've been in that sort of situation, we'll have a real interesting conversation about how that works. And maybe we went through a divorce. My particular circumstance was in the pandemic. But that doesn't detract from what my woman was. My woman was supermodel type status. She's cute. Like, she's like, woo.
Simon.
Hold on, Carl. You let him finish.
Are you gonna let me finish, for real? Like, what?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm listening.
Nah, I don't detract. That's why I don't detract from black women. The thing is, we have this issue at the moment where we don't have a perspective from like black women's experiences where they have had birth and it's gone wrong. So I think like it's Christmas coming up, but next year I'm gonna go into the Bronx. I'm gonna start speaking to some people.
Wait. Hold on.
You speed past what you just said.
Yeah, you're just saying words now like you're waffling. Okay, let's we're gonna pull it back. You said no love. Love does not sustain that long-term relationship.
They done handcuffed your ass to this.
Please elaborate.
Can I please let me reiterate the question in a different manner so I can confine him. Simon, you are in front of 30 women in a room right now, black women. Their ages are from 18 to 30. And they all are looking from a male perspective.
Who's speaking?
about marriage.
Wait.
You're speaking. They're asking you.
Who's speaking?
What?
Who's speaking?
Listen carefully.
Who's speaking?
I just said 18 to 35.
Carl.
18 to 30. I'm sorry.
Carl.
Listen to the question. I'm reiterating it so you can be confined in your response. 18 to 30.
You know could go on right now, right?
18 to 30. Black women only. They're interested in getting married, but they're looking for you to give them the advice. The question is, for a long-term relationship, what would you advise them? You would tell them all.
Long-term marriage, not relationship.
Long-term marriage, yes. Exactly. Long-term marriage.
Yeah.
You would tell them all, don't be in love?
Yeah. No. Don't be in love.
Okay.
Why is that? You feel being in love is detrimental?
Yep.
How so?
It's distracting.
So let me get this straight. You just spoke about your ex-wife, and the one thing you told us about her was that she was supermodel, which means that everything was purely physical. So how can you then say don't fall in love if the first thing you ever explained was just purely physical? We don't know nothing deeper.
Marriage is not love in a sense where a woman will come into your life and it'll be sort of like you need to provide for me, right? So that's just a basic premise. I mean, like,
wait, say that one more time. Sorry, say that one more time. You said falling.
A woman will come into your life and want you to provide for you to be, and that's just the basic premise.
No, it ain't. No, it ain't. Stop that. You can't be that. You can't be that. Listen carefully, Simon. Women come into your life because, just like Brother Doc said, you have to hunt. You are finding a mate, so you have someone to grow old with, someone to make sure that when you're sick, they can nurse you, someone to make sure that the money that you're spending towards the home and all the amenities, they're able to provide a meal. Remember, your job as a man is to provide the foundation as they maintain it. Yes.
Can I ask you a question? Are you a married man?
Not yet, but I can't wait.
Are you a married man?
Not yet, but I can't wait.
So you're single?
I'm waiting for the answer.
Are you single? Or are you a married man?
I'm not married yet,
but
I'm planning on.
Are you single?
I gotta wait. I don't even know how to answer that question.
What's so difficult?
Well, if you're not married, you're single. So, Simon, what's the point? What are you trying to say?
He don't know what he's talking about. That's what he gets at.
Right. Okay,
that's where you're going in?
Yeah, that's where he's going with it.
Oh, that's where he's going with it.
Yeah, I done been on a lot of panels with Simon. I know Simon. He was
because I'm trying to figure out.
Word, are you married?
Go
ahead, Chris. Go ahead, Chris.
I would have been married if she didn't pass away. So that's a very mute question right there. That's really a oxymoron question if you ask me, because you're looking at me like, oh, if I wasn't married, I shouldn't be talking. That's bullshit. I've been in a lot of long-term relationships.
No, I don't think that.
Chris, let Chris go.
I was gonna ask, so I think another would ask that question is, for Simon, is what about love or falling in love do you think destroys the marriage? Like, if you can't necessarily answer why falling in love, like why do you think falling in love can keep a marriage from lasting a long time?
I like that. hear crickets.
Simon,
Oh, you want me to answer?
she did ask you. Yes.
Alright. I like blooming, so I'm gonna be kind with her. Yo,
I like blooming. Yo.
no, that's not a piss take situation. I'm for real, like, and she's asking a real question, which is interesting, and I love the fact that we're actually up here because it's cool. In real life, it'd be cooler, but it's cool. Yo, blooming. Can you ask that question again?
What about falling in love do you think can destroy a marriage or keep it from lasting a long time?
It's hard to tell. The only reason I say that is because, like, I have my own experience and I have my own sort of way of thinking about things. But you know, the woman that I married, she's going through her own stuff, and I can't really determine that. I don't really know how to work it out. You know, and maybe if you ask me that question in about 2 years, I might have an answer.
Why do I feel like I'm listening to Irv Gotti?
I want to say something.
You go ahead, John.
Simon. I'm all seriousness. I'm not gonna completely disagree. I'm gonna disagree with how you said it. Like, I don't agree with that. But there's a different message in what you were saying that I do want to elaborate on. I don't think you should focus on the loving part of it. You should focus more on the friendship part of it. Because that's when you get the real. That's when you get the raw. That's when you know what you have. That's when you can say how you really feel. And when in the job that I work in, I deal with elders, and a lot of them are still married. And they've been married longer than I've been living, right? And I'm 48. And the way that they talk to each other are like fucking best friends. Look, this wench had me call y'all because she can't fucking breathe. What you say? Well, bitch, you can't breathe. And I mean, like, he said that in my mind. I'm not saying this on because it's recorded, but she'll laugh, you old fucker. You just better buy it. I know that. And this is the way they talk to each other. But the love is just fucking understood because that old man will kill your ass about that woman. But they're friends. They're best friends. That's the part that they focused on. Period. It was not the loving part. Oh, I love you like the fucking sky and the moon. Oh, I love you like the doves that float in the rain. No, they didn't fucking do all that. That was the beginning. That was the courtship. To let them know you were serious, you had a plan, you want to be with her. That's it. But Simon, before I go, you still in love with your wife.
Irv Gotti.
You are carrying a lot of fucking hurt. And a lot of that you're projecting on making generalizations based on that projection that you're giving. You love your wife still. And I've been wanting to reach out to you. I talked to, I had a private conversation with Clement about it. I said, man, I really like Simon. But Simon is hurting. Simon missed his wife. Like, Simon wanted to be a fucking husband. He enjoyed being, he's a family type man. I see the passion in it. I see the way that your body language is when you mention her. That's why you couldn't answer the question that Chris asked you, and you said, "Give me 2 years." No, I mean, is there a way? Could you guys reconcile? Can y'all get back together, or is that ship has sailed?
You're funny.
I'm serious.
You're funny.
You don't love your wife still?
You don't
Yes
know.
or no?
All right. Okay. I don't think the platform is gonna allow me to actually dissect and exclaimate what the hell's going on in my
Well,
life.
no, don't do that.
You turn around and be personal, Mr. Doctor, and that's fine. That's fine. Okay.
But
so
I believe. I'm
as
just
long,
saying. I believe you.
hold for a second. As long
right.
as Mr. Clement is allowing us to have this space, look. If you're gonna not bounce me off, I'll talk to you.
Okay.
But otherwise, I ain't interested. So talk to Mr. Clement.
Clement, can we have this space for
because
just a minute?
you had a whole row about my name, right, bro? I don't even know you in that sense. I don't even pull up the stuff that goes on in your back area, which I know about. Okay, so I'm quite happy to have a conversation about my life.
In other words, the infection of prior issue, trauma, and experience can contaminate how you feel and what you speak on. So this is what we're saying.
Carl, stop.
If she came,
hold on, Carl.
Carl, get an ice cream. I'm talking to the doctor. God damn! What this guy?
So Simon, hold on a second. Hold on a second, Simon. Hold on. This is honestly, you guys can have this conversation privately in the back room. I just don't think you should have it here. If it's going to be anything real, I don't think you should have it here.
That's why I said. That's why I said.
So, plus, I mean, we're also hitting that 2-hour mark anyway. So it actually does work out pretty well. We'll leave everyone on a cliffhanger. So that works out.
So, doctor, do you want to talk to me in the back?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk to you.
How?
I'm just gonna around.
He has control of this stream yard, so it's just gonna be the two of you guys.
Well, after
Unique and Chris.
For some reason, the link that I have, it don't have it on here.
You sure?
So I can't bring myself up or nothing. I don't see.
I can drop you guys, both of you guys in and leave. So
Are you stopping it live, or I mean?
No, we're still alive right now, but we're about to actually close out the show. So, it's been fun. It's been great. Thank you all for watching. We're gonna close out our usual style. We got the doctor.
All right, so you can find me here on CKQ Podcast, or you can hit me up on IG at behavioral_consultant on IG, or Black Wall Street Trading LLC on my YouTube channel, which I hardly ever be. You might as well hit me up on IG or come see me here on Tuesdays.
We got Chris.
Hi everyone, I hope that you like this show. I hope it's motivating you to maybe start dating again and maybe consider marriage. But I don't know. I guess it's scary nowadays, but hopefully you are. Hopefully you are. That's the goal, I think, for everyone to get married. But I hope you enjoyed the show. I'll see you next Tuesday. I do have a YouTube channel called The Blooming Ebony, and also you can find me on Instagram at The Blooming Ebony, where I'm more active. And like and subscribe to CAQ Podcasts, and have a good rest of your week. Happy blooming.
We got Carl.
Hey, Carl Schaff on Instagram. Basically, marriage is a necessity because as you get older, you don't know what the future is going to hold. And someone has to be responsible for making sure that when you're in a hospital, you're getting a proper treatment, that, your best interests at heart. A partner is just that. A partner is looking out for your best interest. So marriage is a necessity, not an option, not a convenience. It can be transactional, but if you look down, just like my brother said about being friends and so forth, it can work out. And we got thousands of Black movies where people 40, 50 years, you know, they could curse each other out, but they love each other regardless if they say it or not. And that's more important than anything. Look out for your legacy. Peace.
We got Unique.
Hi. So, Unique is the night. 3 married ladies' opinions, Instagram and Facebook. So, as far as this subject is concerned, yes, marriage can be beautiful. Just don't have expectations and don't think that everything is always going to work out. You have to have reality as well. So, not trying to put a gloom or anything like that. I'm just saying there's reality in marriage and there's Disney life, and it's not the same. So, if you want to hear more opinions about marriage, go to 3 Married Ladies Opinions, or check me out here on Tuesdays, 8:30 p.m. YouTube. CKQ Podcast. Don't forget to subscribe.
Last but not least, we got Simon.
Yo, what I've got to say is subscribe to the channel, for Christ's sakes.
That's what I'm talking about.
Subscribe to the channel. We've been here for a while, man. CKQ and all your guests. We've got a lot to do. And at the same time, it's been a manifest. And that's what happens in life. So just pay attention. Cues are going to come. Life's going to go. And what we're going to see is what we see from our sons. Salute.
That was a nice little Dr. Seuss rhyme to finish it out. I ain't gonna lie. That was good. I'm a huge proponent on marriage. I think it's great when 2 people learn to cohabitate and live with each other. It's very hard. You're gonna go through a lot, but in the end, it has great benefits once you guys push through. Learn to forgive each other. Learn to joke during the hard times. It's gonna be very fruitful in the end. So, if you're thinking about it, really start working towards that, because marriage does grow you as a person. And on that note, we are going to call it a night. It's been great. It's been fun. And we will catch you guys next week. Peace.
Yeah.
If we're doing everything right, I think we should be betting